So let's dive into Meta today, and we'll talk a little bit about XRP and the connection between these two giants and how this may also go into the future of crypto. You guys do not want to miss it. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. I want to thank our sponsor today, and that is Tangem. By the way, this is one of the best wallets out there for your XRP. You can actually store it right there on your Tangem card, which is a physical card that you can use. So this is a self-custody journey. If you've not started that, you guys should take it. It's one of the most secure wallets out there and also easiest to use. As you can see, the card works great with the app. And of course, they have a ton of new features coming out throughout the year. So make sure and check it out. Click that Get Tangem button. It's going to get you into the 3-card set. Use that. And that way you got a couple of backups. And make sure and use our link for a discount. All right, I want to start off with a clip that will kind of set the tone here for today's topic. So let's just go right to it. Listen in.
We've been following the virtual reality space and the augmented reality space for a number of years. But over time, we think that ultimately this is going to be one of the largest consumer hardware categories in the world. But we're just not there yet today. In order for VR to scale and AR to scale, you need developers to build compelling and useful use cases. Or there isn't that killer app yet. We tie that to the inability to create compelling use cases. There is no killer app yet for VR. And until we see a shift, until we see new developers come into the ecosystem or an influx of users come into the ecosystem, we're going to remain pretty cautious on this space as we continue to feel our way through.
So this is coming from Ark Invest, one of their research teams around the AR VR. If you look at what they've been doing in the way of investment, you can kind of see they're exiting out of NVIDIA slightly. And then you look further into the one VR play that there is, which is Meta. And they're, of course, starting to move into Meta more and more. So I don't know if you watch what they do or listen to what they say, but the point is, I think they're maybe missing a big part of the opportunity here. And we'll get into why this is associated with crypto and what is going to be happening maybe in the very near future that could play into this. Here's Meta, of course, based on just general sales. You look at the Meta Quest 3, the leak. This started kind of decreasing sales mainly because around some of these devices, once everybody knows that there's a new one coming out, everybody's waiting off the market. The Quest 3 launches back in October 23, and then of course, Meta Quest sales absolutely skyrocket, this being the Christmas holiday period. So if we repeat that in 2024, there's some key things that will be happening that could repeat this cycle over in terms of getting the Quest 3 out there and starting to tie in some very interesting scenarios. Another thing you have to take a look at is the MetaQuest app itself. Significant increase in installs, 380% growth compared to Q3. You can kind of see the numbers right there climbing out. So the app itself still continuing to go. The number of devices still building. So what you need now is content and how this might also play into future development of the product itself, which gets into a lot of things that Meta is doing. Part of that, of course, is coming from what they're doing right now on the profitability side. This, of course, is Meta Reality Labs. Their quarterly revenue now over $1 billion. Not bad. The other thing that they're starting to work on is, of course, the connectivity into the different form factors. And of course, this is, of course, the eyeglasses. Some of you have probably used these. I've got a pair of these, in fact, that they're quaint. I use them now for mostly photos, but this, I think, is going to be the path to go to the next level. Notice that they have this new smart glass for video calling, and it's primarily targeted at women. And that's, of course, based on the design. So that could be another thing. I want to go over to a clip real quick that explains a little bit more.
And these new glasses are amazing. I love the shape. Classic black for the New Yorker that I am. And cat eye, I've been waiting for this shape. I didn't get them. Your team generously sent them. Thank you. I've been waiting for them. These are a hot commodity. But the sunglasses too. So I'll be able to wear them out and about in the city this summer.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think that they're I think women tend to like those better.
Yeah.
These sunglasses from Ray-Ban and Meta can now answer questions about what I'm seeing.
Look and tell me which of these fruits would make a good smoothie.
Oranges, apples, and kiwis. These fruits would make a delicious smoothie when blended together.
When it's recording, the light's on right here, which means I can get shots like this.
And photos like this. I really like this one.
Like, look at this. I'm recording without using my hands. It's all coming from right here.
And it can even use AI to make my shots better. And one of the newest updates is that I could video call someone to show them what I'm seeing.
And the key here, if you'll notice in those clips, ladies, females, starting to move in to the market. In fact, there's a lot of trends going in this direction. The other thing I want to get into is the connection with XRP. Now, this is something that is really going to tie into, I think, the future of how Meta is going to be laying out the potential of what they're doing with not only the Quest 3, but also a lot of the apps and the projects that are going to be building on this. If you go over to our website or to our YouTube channel, you'll see a ton, but we did one right here on the fitness side of things for Meta. It was this video right here, did pretty good. XRP ETF, massive Ready Player One airdrops. That was the title. The point is that there's a lot happening in the fitness category, and this could be one of the maybe unsung heroes of AR/VR going forward. So in this video, we also broke down a little bit more about a project called Futureverse. This is running on the XRP now or ledger, and of course that was the connection. This next clip will go into a little bit further around some of these first projects that are coming in. Listen in.
Gym Vibe is the only fitness platform that gives you an authentic personal training experience.
Hey, Hugo.
Hey, Anna. Welcome back.
Hey, did you shave your beard?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, felt like a fresh look. How's your neck being this week? Still working from the couch?
Yeah, but got some free time for a quick workout.
Glad to see that determination in you. Want to pick it up from where we left it? Or do you have a new goal in mind?
Let's continue with toning up, but I think I need to step it up a bit. Summer holidays are just around the corner.
Oh yeah, that's right. Your trip to Spain is coming up. Don't worry, you're tracking well towards your fitness goals, but we can definitely step it up. I'm gonna recommend an aerobics-style cardio workout to really get your heart rate up and in the tone zone. What do you say?
Okay, cool.
You ready? Let's go. On to the final stretch. Raise your arms up even higher.
Like this?
Yeah, that's it. And now bring the arms down. Done! By the way, don't forget your rewards. You earned another 15 points. Do you want to collect now?
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm here whenever you need me. See you next time.
Earning rewards, earning points, those eventually I think will start to transfer into tokens. That's something that I think will be kind of this next evolution. The other thing that is going to happen is the uptake on adoption, because that's a very key component of how this will start to move through, a lot of those very fast bell curves. This is their marketing strategy and how they're going to go about it. Listen in.
The global fitness market sits at almost $88 billion and growing at a rate of 33% per annum. We're targeting a slice of that where consumers want one-on-one training at home or traveling abroad. We'll be launching with a subscription membership with reward incentives for loyalty and referrals. Our initial marketing push will target fitness and lifestyle platforms like TikTok and Instagram in order to build an engaged Gym Vibe community. We also aim to be first to market on Apple Vision Air due out in 2025. There'll be advertising opportunities through product placement, as well as partnerships with fitness brands and influencers. And we're partnering with our friends at Futureverse to make sure we're metaverse ready.
All right, so there you go. The tie-in is real. What we'll see potentially is maybe XRP Ledger starting to make its way into MetaQuest and the ecosystem around that. And if you look at Meta overall and their focus, you see social, gaming, and then of course fitness right there. And the integration, I think, is going to really start to grow a lot. And you can kind of see the use cases starting to show up here. And also just kind of the level of how fitness is going to make its way into all walks of life, including you've got things even in the fitness over 40 category. So this to me is one of those things that creates that massive adoption. We saw it in mobile. We've seen this in social. I think we will see this in the AR/VR space. And so what's the competition? If you look at what's out there today, you would probably have to look at something like a Peloton or something maybe like a mobile app. That's kind of the market itself. And remember, we haven't seen that full immersive experience yet. I want to play this next clip that goes into Peloton and their current situation. Listen in.
Peloton plummeting to an all-time low today after announcing CEO Barry McCarthy would be stepping down after just 2 years on the job. The company also posting weaker than expected results for its most recent quarter.
At the end of the day, giving them all the credit they deserve, this is a business that has 3 million people, 3 million subscribers, actually closer to 6 million people, that are paying $44 a month to use this service. That's a good proposition, but that doesn't mean it's going to grow. And that's generating over $1 billion of gross profit dollars. That's worth more than $3 per stock. But if instead I keep taking all that money and trying to chase for members that already bought their bike, I used to argue that, and it was controversial. People get the pandemic was a pull forward. Where do we go from there? Nike, Lulu, Under Armour have entered the equipment space and have all moved back. You asked about engagement. Does Apple do they want the melting ice cube, or do they want something that's up here?
That's a good analysis, because I think right now Meta is on a quest, so to speak, to really start to take out the hardware devices. And I think that will be the big play here, because when you look at hardware devices, this is gym equipment. Gym equipment is one of those things that has never really broken out, because there's been an ever flow of how trainers, gyms themselves, and just fitness in general has started to work. And I think the idea, especially when you look at bringing in gamification, rewards, all those kind of things, all you need is a $500 headset and you're moving in the right direction. So that, I think, is going to be a big part of this. Now, the next step is, how do you get that into even a better form factor? Because this is going to start to get into some other areas. I want to go to this clip here talking about the next few years, maybe the next decade or so, on Ray-Ban and their connection with Meta. Listen in.
I do think this is the product of the year. I wanted to ask you, what will this device be capable of? Let's say V7, what does it look like in 2029?
I think the Ray-Ban Meta glasses have really outperformed even what I hoped that they would do. But I think pretty soon you'll start getting two other options for glasses. One that has a small display, but then of course the full vision is you just have like a full field of view holograms where, you know, we're having this conversation in the future and like I'm sitting on your couch next to you as a hologram and we're just there and we have this full sense of presence. And that's like the full dream of the metaverse. So it's not that far away. The first version of it is going to be, you know, more expensive than we'd like. Getting it into a stylish pair of glasses that's thin is going to take maybe a couple of generations. But I don't know. Overall, I mean, I look at the stuff that we're building in the lab, and it's an exciting bunch of years we have coming up.
Man, I'm telling you, Steve Jobs is turning over right now. Seeing this starting to transition of the new device champion out there becoming what was formerly known as Facebook. And I think just the way that they've approached the AR VR space is pretty big. And the key here has been able to maybe trump down on making this so available, it eliminates all the competition in one fatal swoop. And that's coming because of the Horizon OS and its importance. Listen into this next clip.
This is another one of those big things people don't seem to understand. The Meta Quest store is actually pretty damn good about recommending stuff. They regularly will promote indie devs publishing their first game on the homepage of the store. There's a decent chance if you put a lot of time into making a good VR game that it will be promoted heavily by Meta. Imagine you pour your whole life, your heart and everything into making an app for the Vision Pro. And then Apple decides to stop making the Vision Pro. What the fuck do you do with that? How do you move that to the Quest? How do you move that to other places? An open model is very important in this space. And if Meta is the gateway for me to make an app once and have it be on every headset, that's a really promising thing. Normally, I side with Apple on these things. I mean, I would be really sad if Meta doesn't at least somewhat succeed with their goals here. In fact, I'll make a bold statement. If Meta doesn't find success with this, it might be the end of VR as a whole.
That's a big statement. The key here, and I think maybe Zuckerberg understands this, what's at risk here, and opening this up to pretty much every device maker out there, including companies like Microsoft and Xbox, is a very key thing. And it also could be the gateway into really amplifying all of this. This is a clip talking about Xbox on Quest. Listen in.
Xbox Cloud Gaming is finally officially available on the Quest store, and you can play every game available for Xbox Game Pass in the cloud on your Quest.
Wow. No wires, no console.
You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars buying an Xbox anymore. You can just play it on your headset.
How big exactly are these screens? I grabbed a tape measure, jumped into virtual reality, booted up the Xbox Cloud Gaming app, and measured the size of each one of those screens. Measured in around 108 inches in width, but it is nothing compared to the extra large screen, because the big boy extra large Xbox Cloud Gaming screen measured in at a whopping 132 inches in width. Samsung offers a 146-inch TV that will run you $220,000. Safe to say that I will never be able to own a TV of that size.
So the killer app that was mentioned in the very beginning of the show today by the Ark investment team I think they are not quite seeing the entire landscape of what is available here. Obviously, just the entertainment value alone, whether it's movies, games, and obviously with Xbox integration, this is going to now start to look at potentially eliminating consoles, creating that all-in-one device, especially with an open network. Then you've got the potential of tying in these marketplaces. You kind of see where all of this is going. Plus, you look at the metaverse evolution and what we'll see in the crypto side and blockchain side that eventually will make its way in here as well. And I think this is the next phase for gaming. Speaking of that, you have to think, all right, well, what's going to be one of those killer apps within Meta? Well, here it is. Gotham City is in danger, and you're the only one who can save it. This, of course, is Batman with Arkham and their series. And this is coming out exclusively on MetaQuest. So that in itself, and I want to show you something here. This is coming out late 2024. Key thing right here, late 2024, which means it's going to land right around the holiday season. And if it lands at the holiday season, that is going to amplify the sales of this. Obviously, that creates that network effect, and that's when we see that lift going forward. Apple is so far behind on this, it's not even funny. So this is a big deal, I think, and I think it is potentially the connection point here for crypto and blockchain. I want to go to another one. This kind of just showcases the Batman Arkham series and the tie-in to the Christmas game. Listen in.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is not a joke. There's a brand new Batman Arkham game being made right now. Oh my God, we're getting a new Arkham game. Okay, only on the MetaQuest 3. I gotta get me one of those.
And it costs way too many V-Bucks to get. So that kind of frustrated me, but that's not going to stop me from watching a walkthrough online. The studio behind Arkham Shadow is Camouflage. Now, you probably don't know Camouflage, but you may know the VR game that they made, which was Iron Man VR. Iron Man VR is a really good game according to people who have played. So if Camouflage is making this game, then finally, finally, we can get the chance to understand what it's like to be Bat-Butts and do everything, and I mean everything that we want to do as Batman.
So good thing. I mean, this is going to tell you guys, this is going to be the #1 game for the season. It's going to be the #1 device. This will probably outsell Xboxes. There's no telling what this will do. Great strategy by Meta. And of course, tying this in again to the opportunity for developers and game makers is absolutely unheard of. The key here is going to be looking at where are the trends going though. And this is demographics. So if you look at this Piper Sandler report, taking stock with teens, I want to go down into something, and I just want to highlight this right here. Weekly usage of VR devices improved from 13% from 10% in fall. But look at this number, 33. Let me zoom in on that for you guys. 33% of teens now own a VR device, up from 31% in the fall of 2023. A third of all teens own devices. You're getting ready to see a massive launch on a major game, and you're going to see most likely more of this coming in, especially in the fitness space and all sorts of use cases. Again, all pointing to the future of where this is going. I want to show you something else. This is an interesting point right here. There's some additional research. Where are these teens starting to really focus in on their brands? Obviously shopping, you've got Nike in there, Nike on clothing, Nike on footwear. If you go down further into restaurants, there's Chipotle. So think about these brands that I just mentioned and the potential that they're doing Web3 projects, or they're doing rewards and loyalty programs that create points that eventually could start to turn into projects similar to what most likely will happen with what we'll see in Futureverse and the MetaQuest. So a lot happening right now. Definitely a new shift in terms of demographic. And of course, this could be the perfect timing, much like it was in the early days of the iPhone for Gen X, because they were the ones that kind of started the craze around the iPhone shift away from the BlackBerry. Could we be seeing that right now of AR, VR starting to shift away from the mobile devices as our basically entertainment units? I want to go to another clip real quick. This is Jim Cramer. One time he gets this right, and we had to go back and look to find out, but it's a good clip. Take a listen.
I've been recommending NVIDIA endlessly, often multiple times a week, both here and in the club, for a decade now. Gaming chips were considered low end and not good for much of anything beyond pretty video game graphics. For years, I've told you that even though NVIDIA seemed expensive, the stock would always end up looking cheap in retrospect. For ages, nobody seemed to catch on. First, I blame the big picture strategists, the talking heads who endlessly fixate on the Fed, and then the Fed. They miss the big picture. Pictures like the fact that we have great leaders like Jensen Huang or Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg at Meta. You think those guys paid attention to these faux constraints? No way. See, their eyes were on the prize. Too much macro, not enough willingness to get your hands dirty learning about GPUs versus CPUs. I don't think the critics even knew what this company did. That's right. So many of them. Notice how rarely they ever talk about individual stocks. Notice how rarely they ever help you.
Cramer, if anything, he's a great showman. Often wrong about crypto, though. I will say that. In many cases. But hey, listen, when it comes to securities, tech stocks, I think he has been around. Even though he kind of missed on Meta to a certain extent, he's trying to correct that. So what's the crypto play here? What is the potential? Well, if you look at Root Network and the potential, this of course is diving into the XRP ecosystem, what the future of Futureverse will be. Root Network is the play. And of course, it's been way down. And of course, this is an opportunity that may start to see the light of day as we start to see the markets correct. So this could be one to watch. Make sure and take a look there. Of course, we'll take a look at the XRP chart. Here at the end, still holding out right now at around 52 after Bitcoin has started to correct just a little bit. Love to see what you guys think about XRP. Are you holding this long term? Is it one of those that will be the forever token for you? Let me know down in the comments below. Always love to get your feedback. If you're not in the Diamond Circle, make sure and get in on that as well. Follow me on X at Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.